Well, hello cake family. Let's get started on how to make a striped buttercream cake. To start, you're going to add a dollop of frosting to our first cake board, and then we added a 6-inch cake board to go before our cakes. For this order, we used 4 6-inch marble cakes and serrated the top of each layer for an even flat layer. For this cake, we decided to go with different shades of buttercream to match the stripes that we have on the outside. So the first layer, we're just going to smooth it out before we put on the top layer, the next layer. This is also a chocolate marble cake. We added on a blue buttercream. This is about a half cup of buttercream. And we're going to smooth that out until it's even. And then we're going to put on our third layer. This is now our third layer of buttercream. As you notice, the frosting may start to move a little bit. So you just want to adjust your cakes as you're going along. Clean off your knife and add in your layer of your frosting. You're going to smooth that out as well. Take your time because as you notice, it is starting to be a taller cake and you want to smooth it out before you put on your last layer. Now that it is all on top, you're going to keep going and take your time smoothing down the sides and keeping the cake even. It may take a little time, but you'll get the hang of it. You may notice that the cake is a little wobbly, and you can stick it in the fridge for about 10 minutes or in the freezer for 5 minutes and then finish your crumb coat. So you're going to keep smoothing it out, smoothing it out, smoothing it out, taking your time to smooth out the layers. Keep going all the way around, all the way around. This is a very tall cake, so it took some time for me to do that. So I find that using your bench scraper is the best tool to get the cake completely smooth. So you're going to take it, smooth out the tops. Also, again, taking my time to smooth out the sides. And then we're going to get to our fresh coat of white frosting. Because we want to cover up the inside, which has been purple, and the other colors that we use, we're going to use this nice fresh coat of buttercream and smooth that out as we did previously. You're going to, as we did before, we're just taking our time, putting on our last layer, and you're going to put this on a little heavier because we're going to be using one of my favorite tools, which is the Wilton Comb set. So as you see me, I'm taking my time smoothing it out, and here is the Wilton Comb set. Now you want to take that in the edge of the comb and go against the freshly iced cake, pulling the comb in one direction along the surface in a smooth, even manner. This is going to take some time. As you notice, it's not going to look perfect the first time, but you're going to keep scraping it. Now we're going to take the frosting that we used in the inside of the cake, and we're now going to put that inside of the stripes. And you're taking your time to go around. And this has about 12 ridges, and each ridges is about 1/8 deep. So you're taking your time to go around to put the frosting inside of those ridges. As you keep going around, you want to make sure you kind of put it on heavier than usual so that it shows, because you're going to be scraping this a lot, as you'll see. So take your time, but you want to make sure that you keep putting in as much frosting as possible because you want to make sure that it definitely shows through at the end of your results. For this order, I had used 3 different colors. So if you notice, I'm just keep going around and around and around with the different colors and adding a different color to each ridge. So this does take time, but we finally got there to the end. I think we had about 5 purples, 4 pinks and 4 blues. Now you're going to use your trusty bench scraper and you're going to hold it across the cake and keep going around. And as you notice, it's not going to look cute or clean the first scrape, but you're going to keep going and keep going. Make sure that it's evenly across the cake, and you're just going to pull it straight against the frosting. And as you notice, the lines start to get cleaner and cleaner as you do it. And then when you're finally done, you're going to make sure that you smooth down the top of the cake. And you're going to keep smoothing it down. You know, this was my first time doing this. I can say it didn't come out 100% great, but for the first time, I was pretty happy with the results. So I'm just smoothing out the top, and then we're going to add a nice border. To make this border, we're using the frosting that we used for the stripes. So you're going to put a nice thick line of the purple, and then we're going to do the same thing again with all the other colors. So I started with purple, then we went with the blue, and this actually mimics what was inside of the cake as well. And you're just going to keep even force pushing it down into our saran wrap. The saran wrap I feel is very helpful in giving you the desired look of the swirls that we're going to get when we start to put a border onto the cake. So we had white because that was the freshly iced buttercream that we used. So I decided to put some white inside of the border. And you're going to wrap it around and continue to wrap it around so that it all stays inside. And then you're going to cut off the excess saran wrap that you don't need. Or you can just cut it smaller, whatever works best for you. And you're going to close it up. And you're going to close up both ends. And you're going to cut the top of one end. And then we're going to put that into our piping bag. This piping bag has a 1M piping tip, Wilton's 1M piping tip. Now we're going to put that saran wrap with all the buttercream inside of our piping bag, which is going to make a nice whimsical swirl on the top of the cake. And you're going to use even pressure, and you're going to make a circular motion as you're pushing down the buttercream into the circular motion to make the border. I use some sprinkles on top just so that it just gives it a nice decorative spring feel. Doesn't this feel like spring as you're watching it? I know I felt so happy when I was making it, and there you have it. This is how to make a striped buttercream cake. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. It was definitely a fun cake to make, and if you haven't already, check me out at Bake with Mel, where you can find all instructions on how to make this cake. There I go, you see me? Hope you enjoyed this, guys, and just for fun, I made sure to actually cut it so you can see all of the layers inside. This was a pretty big cake. So because it was a big cake, I had used a bubble tea straw to just hold the cake because I wanted to make sure that nothing fell apart. So you may see that I didn't show it in the video, but it was just for sturdiness. Is it necessary? Not really, but because it was a big cake, I just put it in just for more support. So as you can see, this is the inside of the cake. And here we go. There you go. Can you see all the marble and the colors that we use? So here it is. Here's our cake. Join me at bakewithmel.com for more instructions as well as tutorials on how to do this. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you again, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. This is how to make a buttercream stripe cake. Thanks again, and see you soon.